friends, it's Jamie from Play to Learn Preschool on a Monday afternoon here by myself. I had the most amazing, incredible, wonderful weekend. I got away for the weekend and went to New York City on Friday right after school, which is why we weren't live, and got to spend all day Saturday at Pay Teachers headquarters in Manhattan. It was so cool. I was at TPT headquarters, just sharing ideas with other TPT authors, chatting with the support team at Team TPT. It was so cool, and got to see a Broadway show on Friday night. We went to see The Color Purple, which was incredible. I have like goosebumps. I was crying. It was so good. And I went to St. Patrick's Cathedral yesterday morning before I headed home. It was a whirlwind, amazing weekend. But I'm back in the classroom, and so I just wanted to share something with you very briefly because I'm exhausted. So today I'm sharing with you how our pre-K students sign in each morning. We've talked a lot about our routine, and I told you that when they come in, they start with their morning work on the carpet. But there's one little piece that I haven't quite described to you yet, and that's after they hang up their backpacks and their jackets, before they get down to the carpet, we have them just write their name one time to kind of sign in for the day. So we kind of got like these sign-in sheets, and they just sign their name in before they come down to the carpet. And when I first started teaching preschool in 2005, I would make the sheets each day for the kids. I'd write their names at the top, or I'd write it with like a yellow highlighter at the top, and then they would trace it. And it took a long time each morning for me, or sometimes I'd do it ahead of time, but to make all of these sheets for each student in my classroom, so they had a model and something to write. And I decided, I guess a year and a half ago or so, that, well, I should say halfway, like maybe 2010, I started typing them up, which was smart. Why didn't I think of that in 2005? And then I would just print out the pages for each student. But it was still requiring me to type in each student's name and print them all out. And so then maybe a year and a half ago, I decided that I would create a form for myself so that I could just enter my class list and print out sign-in sheets for the students. And at first they were very basic, and then over the last year or so I've kind of added some really cool new ways for my students to practice writing their names. And it's so simple because the way that I have it set up is I just type in their names on a form and then just print out different ways for them to practice. And so I thought I would just spend a minute sharing that with you today, in case it would make your life easier and save you some time. I wanted to show you how to do it. So first I'll show you, it'll be backwards because I'm on the selfie cam here to begin with, what the sign-in sheets look like. So this is the one that my students are using this week. It has their name at the top with these little dots. So the first thing they have to do is say the letters, L-E-N-A-H. And then my pre-K students are here for 3 days a week, and so there's 3 spaces. So one day, they write their name, like Monday, Tuesday they write it, Wednesday they write it. So they write it one time each day. Now you might see that this one I've typed in all uppercase letters, and that's because at the beginning of the school year, I check to see how my students are already writing their names. If they're not making any marks at all, I'll start with all capitals. Or if they're already writing it in all capitals before they've even come to me, then I'll go ahead and keep doing that until we can start transitioning them over to the lowercase letters. Some of my students started the very beginning writing their name with lowercase letters conventionally. So I'm not going to go backwards and write their names, type them in capitals. If they're already showing me that they can do it with lowercase, I'm not sure what happened here. I think he tried to, I think he was trying to write his middle name, maybe. Then I'll just go ahead and type it the way that they're writing it. So I follow their lead. If they're writing it in lowercase, they're comfortable with lowercase, I type it in lowercase. If they're not, or they're just writing in uppers, then I start with uppers. But I print one of these for my students. Here's another example of a student who's writing it with lowercase. So I print one of these for them for each week. And like I said, they write it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's always easiest to start off without tracing lines. So I just give them the model and have them write it. That's always easier than having them try to trace something, because that's a little bit more difficult. And it goes with how they learn names, how we talked about last week about how they learn to recognize their name, and then they learn to spell it orally, and then they learn to write it based on what they know about other names in the world around them. So we have, by the end of the year, like piles of these papers, right, with all of their names. And what I like to do, this is an older one because it's my own daughter's, is I put them all in like a binder. I just put them with binder clips, or if you have a book binder, like a I forget what that's called. You know, you can put the comb, you know, like the binder combs, but I don't have one of those. Anyway, and so then on the inside, this is an older copy because this is my daughter who's in first grade. I just put them all together for the whole year, and then at the end of the year, they can take it home and show their parents how they've made so much progress writing their names. So I'd like to show you on my computer. I'm going to flip the camera around and you can see my computer screen, how the document works, how you just enter the names into the form and then just it automatically makes these sheets for you. And there's so I have 3 sets of them in my Teachers Pay Teacher store. The first set is an older set, the one that I did at the very beginning, and it's pages, it's like this. You might have seen this one on Pinterest, like this, where they spell it, trace it, and then write it. That's in the first set, but then the one that I'm going to show you on my computer is this set, and it comes with 10 different ways for the students to practice. The third set is for students or for teachers or programs that use a modern font, like a Danielian type font. It's some of the pages of each of set 1 and set 2, but it's written in Danielian font. So if you have a Danielian font, you're going to want to look for that one in my Teachers Pay Teacher store. The one I'm going to show you now is called Name Worksheet Set 2 in my Teachers Pay Teacher store. I'll leave a link up in the video description when we're done. And I'm going to show you exactly how it works. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. If I don't get to them when we're live, I'll go back and answer them in the comments. Okay, so that's it. Let me just switch the camera around so that you can see how these work. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so this is my computer, obviously. And the name worksheets go like this. So it looks like this, name practice. And it says, you know, just in 2 minutes, you can make differentiated 9 different options. I'm sorry, I thought this one was 10, for everybody in your class. So the way that it works, this is what option number 1 looks like, option number 2 and option number 3. And like I said, there's 9 different ones. This is the one that I'm using right now with my pre-K students. And the way that it works is you just enter the class list. So you type your class list. Hey Wanda, hey Angela, hey Lisa. You just type your class list on this form, and then for this one I have you type the first letter of their name, and then it automatically prints a name worksheet for every student. So you don't have to do anything else. It has the name for them to read. This one is a syllables, and then they write how many syllables, trace it, and then write it without the tracing lines, and it automatically prints them for every single student in your class. This is what the second one looks like. They read their name, and they can use stamps, if you have letter stamps, to stamp their name. They can color in each of the apples and then write it at the bottom. And they're blue on the computer screen because that just shows you where the name shows up, but when you print it, the blue doesn't show up there. So here's the next one. It's just where they just trace it with the tracing lines. This one is they spell it, touch the dots, color the crayons, trace it, and write it. So like I said, they're just all different, easy, simple ways. This is what the next set looks like, that 5th one. That's the one I'm using this week with my students, or this month. Just, again, simple ways for the students to practice writing their names. Here's one of my favorites. This one will have a spot for them to trace their name, trace the first letter, and then here it will automatically print a picture that corresponds to each letter of the name. So W for well, A for axe, N for nail, D for donut, A for axe. So they're still practicing just writing their name, but we're starting to make that connection to the letter sound. And then there's a space at the bottom for them to just write it without a tracing model. So they're, like I said, it prints it for every student in the class. If you have a really long name, it'll just shrink the pictures up a little bit so they all fit in there. But it's really easy. So it takes me just a minute to type in the class list here on this page, and then I just push print. And if I'm just, whoops, sorry, I'm going down, I need to go up. If I'm just, for example, printing this one, then I just print pages 89 to, if I have 10 kids in class, I'll print to page 98. So it's a really easy way for our pre-K students to start practicing writing their names. So let me switch it back over here to the tripod and to the selfie cam, and then Okay, so let me switch it back over here and then I'll try to answer some of your questions. So yes, there's a couple of links. I'll leave them in the video description. There's one that's a free link and I recommend that you try it. So I'll put the free one up there. Go ahead and download it, see if it works for you, if it fits your needs. And if it does, then I'll leave a link for the other 3 sets. The first one, like I said, I think that the first one, it might only be 9 or 10 different ways to practice. And the first set comes with these covers that will have a spot for you to put your school name and the school year. And then the second set are these, the ones that I was just showing you, where they can clap the name and trace it. And it has that really cool one that prints the pictures to represent each letter of the name. And then there's the third set for the modern font. So I'll leave all those links as soon as we log off. It's hard to do on my phone, so I'll do it on the computer as soon as we log off. But try the free one first. The only thing that you need to remember is that you have to open and edit these name worksheets in Adobe. So if you're on a Mac or you're on an iPad or something like that, then Apple has pre-installed a PDF reader on your device that is not Adobe, because Apple and Adobe, I guess, don't play nicely. So you have to actually go to adobe.com. It's a free reader. You want to download that. And then when you open the worksheet, the first time you do it, you have to choose Open with Adobe. It's like a right click or a double click on the file, and it will say Open with. You have to choose Adobe, because if you just open it, or if you open it online, it won't edit correctly. The fonts will be all messed up because it'll be that generic PDF reader. So you want to make sure you open it with Adobe, and then you can edit. If you have more than 20 or 24 kids, however many go on the form, you can save it, like first half of the class, save it, and then just open the file again, type in the names and save it, so you don't have to type them again later in the year. And you can change it every year. So you just put in your new class list and print it for your students. So hopefully it will save you time. It saved me tons of time. So in the morning I can just really quickly, it takes 2 seconds, I've already have the class list in there just to print out worksheets for my students. Sometimes I'll put them at the writing center instead of at the sign-in table in the morning, so they can practice, stamping. We have the stamp one at the writing center, or coloring the apples with their names. Somebody asked if I thought that this was appropriate for 3 and 4-year-olds. I do not use these with my 3 and 4-year-olds. We do a lot of letter writing with dry erase. We do it on the salt trays. I'll put out trays of colored sand or salt, and they practice doing their letters there. We practice with paint. We practice with shaving cream. They have crayons and things at the art easel or at the creation station, but I do not have them use sign-in sheets. They're a little bit too young. So I would say wait until your kids are a year out from kindergarten and then have them start practicing writing their names. A lot of kids will start earlier than that on their own, which is fabulous. That's what we want. But I don't push the 3-year-olds, no. So it's up, you have to, figure out what's right for your child and know your own children. But for my students, they're not quite ready yet. We want to work on our fine motor skills, on our pincher grasp, and all of those other things before we actually start writing it on a line on a piece of paper. So that's a great question. You love the smiley face pumpkin on my art display. Oh yeah. We had the parents in last week. It was the last day for the sandwich shop. And so I always invite the parents if they'd like to come in and be customers. And so his mom was here and they were painting together. Isn't that sweet? Yeah. So anyway, if you have any questions about the name worksheets, feel free to leave them in the comments. Like I said, I did it to save myself time. I hope it also saves you a little bit of time, and then it offers your students some different chances to practice a really important word, which is their name. Because they definitely need to be able to write it before they go to kindergarten, right? Can you imagine those poor kindergarten teachers with 24 kids and nobody can write their name on their paper? So it's an important skill for our pre-K students to practice. I think that's it. I will not be on Facebook Live tomorrow. I'm actually doing a private training at a preschool in the area right after school. So Gemma, I don't think will come on Facebook Live by herself, but we'll be back together on Wednesday to show you what we have set up for our Week 8 centers. And I hope you'll join us then. Have fun planning and learning with your kids today, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.